stepping away after 29 years as head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. He will no longer be head coach, but he is transitioning to a full-time role as team president of basketball operations. That role has already begun for Popovich, but this is an end of an era. 5 championships as a head coach, 3 Coach of the Year awards as a head coach, 22 consecutive playoff berths as a San Antonio Spurs head coach. He will still be a vital part of their day-to-day operations. I'm told he's even been at the facility this week as the Spurs are launching this new era that now he will be a significant part of. And as much, Shea, as he wanted to coach and he wanted to get back his health, he understood and came to the conclusion that just the taxing nature of being an NBA head coach on the heels of that November stroke that he had was just not feasible. And he made the decision to step away from coaching, and as much as he pushed to return, he made phone calls to his current players and past players that he is moving on as a head coach, now team president.
Well, he ends his NBA coaching career as the winningest coach in NBA history. I would say that is a very big accomplishment. Let's now bring in NBA analyst Tim Legler. And Legs, what's your reaction to Pop stepping down?
Oh, man, you talk about the end of an era. I mean, era doesn't even really come close to, I think, capturing what Gregg Popovich represented, the legacy of winning, the gold standard for the NBA for a couple of decades, certainly during the time I was in the league, along with the Chicago Bulls. And for me, Gregg Popovich was a guy I always looked at from afar, and I said to myself, man, one of the regrets I have in my career, because I had such a bad knee injury prior to turning 30, it sort of changed the course of my career, because I have a feeling at some point in my 30s, over those last handful of years, I would have found my way to San Antonio one way or another, because I always felt like Gregg Popovich found a way to max out every guy on his roster and took role players and made them impact players. He did it with a more diverse cast of characters around his stars over the years than anybody, I think, in the history of this league. It's a testament to his coaching, his identity, the culture in San Antonio. So it's a sad day, but I'm more importantly, I'm just happy that he's healthy and he's going to return to the organization in some form.
Yeah, I mean, look, watching a team, or one team in particular, translate decade after decade after decade is definitely the end of an era. Is something to be said for that. Shams, soon after you broke the news on Pop, you posted that the Spurs will make interim head coach Mitch Johnson their head coach going forward. Was that always the plan?
That became the plan once they saw the continuity and the through line that they wanted. Gregg Popovich, CEO, R.C. Buford, Brian Wright, the team's general manager, he was hired the same offseason in 2016 as Mitch Johnson entered this organization. So Mitch Johnson has been part of the Spurs program for over a decade now, and they've been evaluating him, seeing him. There's been tremendous support for Mitch Johnson, not just this year as interim head coach, but over the totality of this past decade. He's actually the individual shooting coach of Victor Wembanyama, and that relationship runs deep. That's obviously a very key figure that Mitch Johnson will have at the helm. And so the Spurs, they landed on this decision as a holistic collective group, and they ironed out a contract with Mitch Johnson's representatives at Clutch Sports today.
Okay, so there was never, Shams, if I can push back a little, there was never an idea that we were going to look outside and maybe interview other candidates. This was always the plan.
It was 100% Mitch Johnson from the moment that Gregg Popovich made this decision that he was going to step away.